All right, we are live in three places. So, hey folks, this is me, Vishwastan. Guess what? Today I'm so honored that I'm talking to Kartikey Rawat. Not because he is just part of the community, but that essence of being the true leader. I just learned from him. He knows how to find. He has been a founder of an open core community, but the amount of impact he's bringing on. When I see some guys sharing something on WhatsApp status or something, or somebody appreciating him in some stupid meetups that we go according to the nerds. You do this, but I love going to the meetups. I feel so honored that I'm part of it. I'm part of the family of the community where there's a lot of impact, and I feel that it's a very proud journey for me because I saw him he making some very cool hats of GitHub and things like that, coming on the and delivering talks, and I'm like I wanted to follow him. Of course, people know me. I am a very bad organizer and very great organizer, a very great person, a very great community dude. And this is Kartikey Rawat on my show. And thank you so much, Kartikey, for being on my show, brother. Means a lot. This was actually a long-term discussion that we had.
Yeah. First of all, thanks Vishwas for bringing me here. And yeah, apart from the apart from that, Vishwas has said to me, like he's a brother to me. Like he always helped me. Like I called Bhaiya. Like Vishwas, मेरे को एक गड़बड़ लग रहा है. Just help me with that thing. And he's always with me. And it's just not only about the common thing that we hold, that is machine learning, that we're talking about research or machine learning stuff, and what we're going through. But apart from that, we got connected through again from Azure Dev, and from that only, like he's always one of mentor to me. You can say in machine learning world or in normal as a kind of a bhaiya, but yeah, he always there to me. So yep, thank you Vishwas for bringing me there, and I love to share my experience. And let's talk about some maybe the actual open source thing, how it actually whole process of operations goes through in that thing. So yeah, cool. I guess
Sure, let's talk about it. You're sharing your screen.
sure. No, just no, you can start off. I will maybe in the middle of the when we need it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
sure, buddy. So let's start with your journey. For sure you come from a tier 3 college, and you made
yeah.
such an impact that IITians are looking back at you. So I can promise you that they are looking back at you. So what was the journey all about? Like, what was that mindset when you first entered the classroom and now going out in a community where it's something that I never thought that a tier 3 college guy from some other place where I didn't know and I can meet through an internet. So how was the journey all about when you started out in the world of community
Yeah,
and also as a
so
student?
cool. Yeah, again, according to me, when I get into tier three, so I'm also a dropper because we know in India JEE and NEET is at the top notch thing. So my father told me, like, if you want to take a drop, you can. So even I have no idea about engineering on a on a terms perspective. Even though didn't know what branch I have to choose. In initial, before going to quota, I go to I'm thinking like, my father is civil engineer. Let's do civil engineering then. Okay, so that's the process behind me. But when I get into quota, and someone named thing, this one guy whose name Sundar Pichai, I didn't know him. On a very frank basis, I'm on that moment, even though I'm not a technological guy, if we say, or when we say in a tech perspective, but when 2 to 3 people in my class over there, and they're saying this is Sundar Pichai, who's the CEO of Google. Google is doing amazing products. Like they have a talk. So I think, who is that guy, and why many people talking about that guy. So one day before maybe applying for JEE means examination, so I thought of there is a rate called 10 rupees for 1 hour for cyber cafe. So I thought of like I use my 30 minutes. Let's use my 30 minutes to search this guy. And when I saw what he is and what the major impact that he created, even though he's a CEO, even everyone say he's a CEO, he just have to do managemental kind of thing. But apart from the old journey that I saw, like he's also a product manager. He built Chrome. Actually, you can say what there is no status when we say when we see the browser thing. So we already say it's only Microsoft browser, you can say, or maybe normal or you can see even Yahoo also bringing on that thing. So when I saw that guy, where Google is also dipping as a company, the Google is basically taking like actually saying you Yahoo to bring it up or maybe or overtake our company. They are not, and from that point, how it takes over. So that get to into me tech. Yeah, this is the thing that people are making impact. And on that point, I'm not saying about the impact thing. I'm just saying this is a person where he created a product and millions or billions of people are using that thing. So I got from that. Then when I get into college, I'm very depressed. I didn't get into NIT or IIT, so I'm really depressed. But I thought of when I getting into a three-tier college in a three-tier city, I think kya hi ho jayega? What can be happen to me now? So taking inspiration from Sundar Pichai always. I thought of he's a guy from he's from again from IIT, but I'm not referring to IIT. But he's a guy from Chennai. Travel from Chennai to KGP by local kind of a general train or local train. From that he goes to America and he's doing a massive impact in tech specifically. So I take him as always an inspiration for me. So yeah, and after that, like I thought like let's do this. Even though I'm in first year, I can do any. I will try to do as much as what I can do. So I know, I think so. In my first year only, there's a hackathon, and from my perspective as a student, I didn't know about anything about C++, Java, nothing like that. And from that perspective, I think so. Hackathon means hacking, kind of ethical hacking kind of stuff, and even I don't know that thing. So I thought let's do it. There's one or two friend came over me and let's do some hackathon thing. Let's just experience it. Let's go to that. So we thought of an idea. After that, I figured out no, it's not hacking thing. It's just like we have to work on a problem statement. So we thought of let's build a basic website called a magazine collection website, maybe a basic thing. So we only know HTML, CSS, and somewhat like JavaScript. But what I got from the hackathon, I didn't know about anything about SQL or database. But through that hackathon, even though we didn't won, but I got to understand about the database management thing, somewhat database management kind of thing. And it goes on. And those who know pretty much me, I am much over in entrepreneurship side. So when my second year kick off, so before second year kick off, I go to IIM Bangalore. There's a summit called Eximus Summit where I met Karan Sharoff, who's currently not currently, I guess he's a on that point he's in he's head of marketing at Xiaomi India. So I talk with about the stuff what they are doing with Xiaomi on that time. Even though on that time Xiaomi is in the top brands, you can see, even though now also, but he's in, when we say in the marketing or that perspective, they are in the top now. So I have talked with them. So I got that many folks, and they have a create a common thing when we say IIT or IIM, why they are in the so lump sum, that kind of thing, because they created their own community. They are talking with something like if we say college, any kind of thing, they are just dropping some ideas correlated to that, and that's what I got. Yeah, what they are excellent, they are not excellent. If I go very frankly kind of thing, there are many people who are doing greater than their what they did, but just actually the community that they built off, you can say alumni network, can be alumni network or the community that they built off, even though they are average of something, but if they are doing together, it makes a greater impact. That's what I saw on that point. And after that, I get into Hult Prize, and also I represent our country at Hoshim. And those who didn't know what is Hult Prize is a competition by United Nation for basically for building startup thing kind of thing. So on that point, I kicking off one of the basic you can say agriculture startup, because in Chhattisgarh, those who know, uh, 70% or 60 to 70% are farmers actually here. That's the scene actually. And I saw there is a many problem during the supply chain, you can say. So I thought let's build it off maybe. So I get this thing off, and after that COVID happened, and it changed my life totally. Because before COVID starts, so what I did, I just go to Raipur and taking up down kind of thing to Raipur. And it's kind of like a struggle kind of. I'm feeling so much like I feel like I'm Sundar Pichai on that point, because he's also saying like he's traveled from Chennai to KGP. So I thought I have to do this so I do that things every Saturday Sunday. It takes me around 1 to 2 hours to go to Raipur and come back to the meetup, because there's only one community in Chhattisgarh on that point, that is Facebook Developer Circle. And when I firstly set up Django, there's a first meetup I know. There's a Django meetup, and I am so I thought like I am the biggest tech ever anyone seen, just installing Django on my system. And that's the scene that I got into. And many people say no, it's also, and when I got a keyword called open source. But on that point, even the Hacktoberfest is here, everyone said what is Hacktoberfest, but I didn't get actually what is actually Hacktoberfest on that point, and even the open source. So when COVID hits, uh, I try to give myself a more space to international, or international community, you can say, even though I didn't know about the community. So there's one guy who put me in community, you can say, that is Aditya Oberoi. He's the one who tell me about, like, bro, the like when how I met Aditya Oberoi. So he's, at that time, I guess he's the internet Progate India. And he just approaches me like, bro, are you interested to organize a boot camp, kind of Python and Java boot camp on our platform? So I say, yeah, let's do that. And from that point, when I talk with Aditya, I think, when I saw him, because he's also an MLSA on that point, and I think he's a bade log hai bhai. Like, no one ever talked to me, but he talked to me on that thing. So I thought he's a very he's into bade log kind of system. So after that, he tell me about what is actually a community. You can say what is actually a community. And I have very misconception. I already said, like, Aditya or Siddharth changes me over that time, and tell, no, it's not competition, bro. It's not competition. You are not competing with other communities, kind of thing. So at some point, I created a competitiveness in the starting years of my community journey. But they are the people who tell me, no, it's not that, like that. You are helping out the folks in the community, just to scale up on that thing. So yeah, after that, even though we think of, like, on that point, I guess new juniors came over in our college. So we just said, like, we created a small group of 5 to 6 people on that point. And they are just from my co-founders, and we just said, let's create a small group where we can just normal talk about tech stuff, not more than that. And I just share a link with one person. And we didn't think of around, I guess, on that point, 150 to 200 people join, and we got really excited. I We saw, like, in our batch there is no one interested in that thing, but in our juniors there are so much people who are passionate about that thing, or maybe want to talk around tech space. So on that point, I thought of, let's create a community. Then on that basis, then I started off, when with some of my co-founders. Even my co-founders, we didn't know before COVID. That's the also a reality. We didn't know before COVID who they are. We just met through an hackathon, SIH only. Basically, we met through SIH only, and we didn't know each anyone, like, before that. When we joined, we do a hackathon.
SIH का मतलब होता है स्मार्ट इंडिया हैकाथॉन.
Yeah, those who didn't know, yeah. So it's a national hackathon by government. So, like, we basically interact with that thing, and we start off because the what I think why our community is successful, maybe due to the founders only. Because I'm into tech community, or maybe a dev space, till, you can say, during before the COVID thing. And apart, other founders, one is in designing, another one is they are in the properly in the research space, or you can say master space. And there's a third one, and there's a last one who is into basically in web development. So we got a, you can say, collection of different people as a founders. So we have a different insights about everything. Like, if I going wrong with the designing stuff, so my co-founder say, it's not like that. Designing is very easy if you are saying like that. So we got different perspectives. So we thought, let's build a team over that thing, and maybe we can do some stuff over that thing. So I got a insight over there. Then I when I saw my juniors are really really interested, because what I feel, I and my juniors saw, we have a lack of resources here in Chhattisgarh on a truth basis, right? We know the value of resources. I'm not saying those who are in IITs, NITs, or those who are in the metro cities, they didn't know the value of resources. Why we know? Because there is no teacher who helping us. There is no mentor actually on that point. So when COVID hits, and when I connected to amazing folks like Aditya, Siddharth, Kunal Kushwaha, they created their own community, and they get an insights about open source, and they doing something hackathon and mentorship kind of thing. Then I got think, okay, this is open source. Open is not GSOC actually. It's not LFX mentorship actually. Many people just correlate that how to. Many people DM me, Bhaiya, how to crack GSOC. I said, this is not a JEE and JEE advance. It's not need. You have to crack it like that. it's a program. Again, GSOC is a program who supports open source. It's not like it's not open source actually. So many of those who didn't know what is GSOC, it's Google Summer of Code. So yeah, on that basis, when I when we structure or when we demystify the open source thing, it's a space. Again, I am saying many people say open source is a tool, or according to me, it's not also a concept. It's a culture, I guess. That's what I feel. Open source is not you have to do code. There are many people who are doing contribution through no code basis or low code contribution. When we say, like, recently Hacktoberfest happened, and they are more focused on how people can do low contribution or no code contribution. Basically, it can be your documentation, you can documenting thing, you can creating test suits for your the main project. That's also add to the contributions. And not only, if you're creating blogs, if you're advocating, if you're giving talk also, that's also contribution to that project. Because suppose I'm not into Google, but if I'm advocating my kind of TensorFlow, so they are not giving me any money, right? But I'm advocating because it's an open source project. I have access to everything. I know because I'm a part of that community, so I know. So again, by giving talk or by advocating people, we are also, because like many people say advocacy or DevRel thing is a very marketing stuff, and yeah, it's okay. They have a great perspective over that thing. But when we say, it's my perspective, when we say developer advocacy or normal developer relations, they have a different aspect. One is developer advocacy, second one is developer education. Because what I think, they have a great opportunities out there, but people don't know. People, actually students also don't know. When we say students, professors, there's some professor that I met, they are really interested to want to get into it, but they didn't have an idea that this thing is existed actually. And maybe the tech community space boost that thing in a maybe in an exponential way through COVID, I guess. Because I am a guy who cannot talk at all. I am talking again, I'm not a fluent kind of thing, but I'm connected to that thing. And I fumble when I started off. So there's a one hack. There's first my virtual hackathon. I guess there's a hack-on only. So I met the first in person, like virtual meet 101, and I don't understand how I speak it. So what I did when I talk to anyone else in English, again, I am not with good English on that point. So what I did, I record everything actually. Like what is the what I am talking with anyone normal. It can be community sense, it can be text sense or a hackathon sense, and I listen after that. Uh, okay, I stutter here. Okay, I fumble here. I use wrong grammar here. So I did that on that point. But over that point, it gives me more boost because no one judge. Because in India, people are very judgy on that. You can say English thing. You're doing grammatical mistake here, there, yeah. But I guess community helps us to be very inclusive on that thing. MLH is very make me in a more inclusive way. And I started off basically talking. It basically increases my confidence actually. Because there is a difference between introvertness and shyness. I remove my shyness, but I am an introvert, right? People just equalize shyness equal to introvertness kind of thing. I am an introvert right now. Also, I'm an introvert, but I am not shy anymore. It's just like if you are working on one thing again and again, it makes you very comfortable. That's what I saw, and what actually open source and everything does to us. Because sometimes we are introvert, we didn't want to talk to each other, but what open source does, if we are doing some chatting with some maybe a project admin kind of thing, and if you want to get into that community, you can't, maybe didn't have to call that buddy or kind of that, but you're just typing with and just have a conversation with that moderator. So it also boosts up that thing, that this is a guy who created maybe this project or this kind of project, and he talking to me. And it also indulges a sense of like, you are not only the ones who are really introvert in the community, or those who want to get into community in a very inclusive way. So yeah, that's my take. And maybe if we're talking about the open source thing, let me share my screen, I guess, which
Sure.
was cool.
So, Karthikeya, one second,
Yeah,
one second. I just wanted to
yeah,
clarify one thing. So,
yeah,
I'll say one thing. It's not everybody's piece of cake to just go and talk everywhere, right?
yeah,
You need not have to start by contributing to something which is very meager or something. Like you can aim for the bigger ones, and you can obviously achieve a lot, because that's what
yeah,
I think. If you talk to one of my mentors, Vivek Sridhar, I just I just love the
Yeah.
fact that he literally says, you don't know the topic, don't worry, write the CFP for it. If it gets accepted, just
Yep.
get ready for the demos. That's the whole
Yeah.
point. Do not do not imagine yourself as somebody who is less, but reimagine yourself every single time, because
Yep.
fundamentally what happens is you're incentivizing yourself once you start achieving small goals by reimagining yourself. So that's the
Yep.
thing. And I think this is all about the chat ops, because fundamentally what happens is it's all communication. You might have it
Yep.
written the best piece of code the entire GitHub can see, but if you can't communicate what's the purpose of you writing the code in that
Yep.
entire journey of that conversation, it's not one time you just push the PR and somebody says, "Hey, bye, maine
Yep.
kar liya PR, merge karo na." It doesn't happen like that. And there's a lot of
Yep.
things which happens behind. There is SaaS strategies that are given, code QL pipelines
Yep.
which are running behind, and there are different ways in which you can think about the roadmaps
Yep.
as well. So
Yep.
think about it, do whatever you love to do, and over to you, Kartikeya. The stage is completely
Yeah,
yours.
so I just want to add the same thing with that thing. As Vishwas said to me, like on that point. So I just say, as I fantasizing Sundar Pichai, that's why I very close to that thing. But again, it's everyone different perspective of that. So let's get into it. And yeah, first of all, let me go to my PR. So I will share one of my PRs that I merged on that part. Let me go to the closed ones. Cool. So okay. Yep, cool. Cool. So yeah, this is the PR that I created, and yeah. So first getting into that, so let me first of all show you. Just give me a moment. It takes loading. Cool. So if you see here, um, I want so in initial part when I started off my journey in you can say in TFJs or contributing to open source. So I didn't know much. So when there is my first Hacktoberfest, when where I contributed to it. So I contributed very basic. You can say just adding just updating the documentation. If there is a grammatical mistake, everyone start with that. But in case you surpass that thing, or if you want to like, because at the end of the day, why people say low code or no code is very better contribution apart from code contribution in as for beginners is because you're not good with the well versed with the code base actually what actually this project teaches you or what is actually is this project is about actually. So working on contributions on documentation side or non-technical side helps you a lot on that thing. So for me TFJ is like that. Uh, I saw TensorFlow.js in one of the session by Jason Maves, who is a senior developer advocate at Google at WebML, who those who are heading over that thing. So I talked with him. He connected with me. So again, there's a really important thing. If you're doing open source or anything, communication is the key to contribution. You can say, right? I will show you what I'm seeing actually in terms of contribution. So when you saw here, like if I go to this repo, and this is so much thing, and as a beginner, I really scared scared shit of that thing, like what actually it is. I didn't understand anything, right? So first of all, to understand it, you have to understand, you have to use that project in your small project. So what I did earlier, I used that project in my small project. Like suppose I'm learning machine learning and I got TFGS is something. Let me understand. So you what you can do, you can understand from if you can go to the official website, you can go to that. Otherwise, if anyone is good and if they created any course, so what I did to understand TensorFlow.js, I didn't go to the actual documentation, but I saw a Coursera course that is from deeplearning.ai, and where they're talking about the like how to use TensorFlow.js and how to use it whole kind of thing. So I get an idea of how to use TensorFlow.js and how to implement to it maybe in my small projects, right? After that, what happened when I mail when I let me show you the mails also if you want. Just give me a moment. Just give me a moment. Okay, so moment. Hmm. Cool. So if you saw in a whole, you can say in the whole this thing, if anyone wants to approach anything, like if you want to understand, because like what you have to do for the simple thing, what you can, let's go to the docs thing for now, just to understand. So if you see there's a proper documentation MD is here for documentation, and have a go through with that thing, actually what it is, how it totally is working, just to understand. Just read the whole doc, you get an understanding of what actually it is, right? And talking both about, let me go to the conversation that I happened. Just just give me a moment. So let me share you, give me a moment. Cool. I guess this only, I hope so it's visible to you all. Cool. So if you say, this is my the whole thing that I did with those people. And again, if you want, let me check with that thing, so I will give you. Cool. Let me let me go to the ping you thing, so that like, as I talk with the, again, what I sharing you is like that, I'm just sharing you the conversation that happened with the main thing, because before getting into GSOC also, I am active in community, but I am not, didn't do any code, you can say code contribution. So what I did actually, I just like, this is the main thing that I will share you. Just give me a moment on that thing. Cool. Yep. So not this one actually. Also, I will show you. This is in the later part, but so if you see this, right, so this is the thing that like, if you want to understand how it happened, kind of thing. So what actually I did when I created a PR, and basically understand what actually whole thing is, what they did to me. I just mailed them, and I said to those people, like, I am new to this I'm in this community, I built some project, but I want to contribute in TensorFlow.js. But right now I'm saying there is no beginner level issues. So what I did for them, so what they actually did, so that's the power of open source, or when you say make it more inclusive. So what they did, they created a project tab for me, just for me, or there is no, you can say, issues actually. So they created a feature tab for me, so I will tell you, this is the feature tab. Yeah. So this is the thing that I created. These are the one who are how I worked for, and these are the to do list on that point when I started off. So these are the three things. If you saw, I added to this. Basically, I worked around that thing, and how I got those things, because I get a, you can say, I get a reference. I get some old PRs by ping you, that is who is the moderator of TensorFlow.js repo, to understand it. And even though I got some old PR, even though I got so many issues, so I will share you that. So like, I just, as already said here, why my checks are failing, even though I think on that point my thing is good. So he just said, can you check the access log, because he told me like, do this thing, okay. And even also understand, even doing this basic thing also, I am doing so much error kind of thing. So I have to do CD, then I have to use this thing, right, on that point. Then I say, yes, I got this is the same problem, and just have a conversation. Even though, if you see this one, even I just stated, you can see my tabs over there on that point. So even though it's a basic, this is my first PR actually. So even though there is an issue failing, and I'm saying why it is, even though I'm doing everything is fine, why it is happening. So again, you have to understand it. it takes time. It's not like that. If you see the dates also, like if you say this is 23, we are going on a conversation with 23, and directly it goes to checkpoint on 27. So again, in open source, patience also matters. It's not like that they will not reply to you or they will neglect you. It's just like they also, like if we're talking about TensorFlow is a part of Google. So they are Google engineers, right? So they are doing Monday to Friday job, or you can say they have to give you time on the basis of after they did their job actually, right? So they are doing open source on a side basis, you can say, right? So after that also, if I, even I if even I didn't understand, I have done the same update on Sinus PR. So I created a Sinus also. If you see this one on that point, so everything is point on that thing, everyone's going fine on that thing, cool. So then he again we had the then he shared basically you're doing this thing in all, it's reviewing, you can say you didn't, or also they also saying that I didn't add this thing, you can say this comment in the main in 10.cc file actually, and this thing. So this is the basic conversation that is happening when I say I did this also. Then he said there's a issue happening here, why you added this thing. So on that point I didn't know how to use it actually on a proper better manner. So I basically updated some settings, so that I didn't have to. I didn't know I'm basically playing with the production on that, because I didn't know actually I'm playing with the production actually. So they said to me, no, it's not like that, you are doing wrong, you have to just you can say retreat that thing actually. Okay, so rebase karna, you can say rebase and just add those link to that. And after doing it, when I updated it, then they say yeah, I updated everything, if check is fine. If you say check is fine, everything is goes fine. If you go, if you want, you can also check the details over it. So yeah, let me check. So all things goes by, there's no error. If you want, you can check the whole stuff over this thing, or the whole console cloud if you want, because it's connected. And even I say after that, I revert the change. I already done that, and this is the whole thing. And after the whole changes of that, even after the whole, I made the changes. All the after whole changes, thanks you for contributions, and they check, and like I contributed to like TensorFlow.js, so that um, if you want you can check that out. Or main, if you go to the main repo, let me see it app. So you can see this, the whole, how the whole process is, if it will give the whole execution details and how the build artifact works over that thing. Again, on that point, I'm new to this thing, so I didn't know actually how it totally works. So if you go here and if you go to the contributor list, you can check mine. Even the majorly contribution is from Google engineers, because again, Google, if we say Google, Microsoft, or Facebook, they have a very fast forward going contributions thing, because the software engineering is happening. So these are the people. If you want to say, let me check. Let me check over there. So if you like, you can
Are
check
you
it out.
carrying
And
Kartikey in this one?
yeah,
It's scary,
yeah,
right?
yeah, I guess it's scary, but I'm not able to. I have to like maybe I have to search it off, but like if you can check it out. Like I will like you will find me over there that thing. But because more contribution, so the whole point of the basically the conversation that I shared with you in this thing, the main thing, yeah. So this is the main thing that what I want to share with you all. Have a take a conversation. It's not like that you are best in the industry and you have to be very, again, you have to ask good question. When we say good question, it's not like that if you have a silly question, you don't ask, but in that silliness also there's some sense to the project. It's not like that you're working on a project, you have a talk with a project, but you're talking about their personal life also. I'm just saying in a joke manner. But again, try to ask very specific question, because as you saw, the conversation that we happened here from 23 March to directly 27th March. If you say this is 23 March, then directly 27th March. and he actually requests the change on 30th March. So again, the main point or main concern that what I want to share with you all, have a proper conversation with the moderator or those who assigned you or those who are reviewing that thing, so that it is easy for you and them to understand. If you think they are not active over that issue, so go to the there can be a Slack channel, or maybe you can say, let me share you, give me a moment, give me a moment. If you go here, I guess in TFJS, you can easily find the mailing list here. You can go to here, and you can go to the all the main. You can get basically the mailing list over here, and you can try to connect with there over there, or where they are also, in case in case you think that they are not talking much over issues, or they are not active over issues, so you can do that. So the basic concept that what I want to explain you here, try to when we say, like, there many people say communication is a key to like many thing. Actually, that's the really fact, because you are sitting here, suppose you are sitting in India and they are sitting in the San Francisco. How they able to know, or they didn't have a number of yours, so how they call up you? And again, try to do it in a public manner, because it's an open. So when we say public, learn in public concept, please do not DM them on personal thing. Please do not do that. Do it in the public server, or the maybe the public mailing list that it has. It is very better for them to understand what actually. If you saw here, like, if you saw, let me share you. um, if you see here, I have a proper conversation with them, like, around it. Even though, if I go back, just give me a moment. In a in normal chit chat kind of thing also, this thing also, like, I have a talk with them on the same thing, that what I'm saying, try to have a good conversation with them. Otherwise you didn't able to understand actually what is the whole process. And yes, open source takes time. Even though in the whole Hacktoberfest thing, I already stated that you are doing this or that. But again, like, many people go for Hacktober for fest for the swag kind of thing, right? Even you didn't complete your Hacktober, it's okay. Even though you make your one PR also, but a quality PR. A quality PRs is 1,000 times better than 1,000 PRs. Just do a quality contribution. Open source is here, just not like, again, you in initial you are beginner, okay, and then after you get and limit that, okay, this higher, I understand the whole open source workflows in GitHub, on GitHub, you can say. So, and after that you have to make quality contribution. Open source is here, it's a project. Okay, chalo, you are also contributing 1,000 PR, you are making your green boxes, every box is to be green every day, but it doesn't make a sense what are you contributing to that project. If many people say, right now technical recruiters hire you from through your GitHub profile, so they will check your commits, they will check your what the changes that you made, and how your code is good, or you can say compatible to the system, you can say. So takes time on that thing, and we can do something. So yeah, that's the part, I guess, from my end. I hope so. I cleared from my chat thing. I hope so many people understand. But again, I'm saying communication is really important. Please talk to them, and again, please do not DM privately. Just talk in public thing. So everyone, if anyone working on that issue, or maybe worked on that issue earlier, so maybe he or she can help you on that thing. Maybe if you're working on that same issue, that can also possible. So on that time, maybe moderator are too busy, they are giving replies after 2 weeks. So there's a plus point to you if anyone already worked over that issue, and he or she left it, so he can give you more ad, because they already research on that issues and find some resources for that. So you can do that also. Yeah.
Yeah, I think somebody was asking about Rocket Chat, right? Yeah, I just wanted to talk about it. See, Rocket Chat is just a platform, right? There's nothing wrong in Rocket Chat as well. So I'll just give you a simple example of how Rocket Chat actually helps in the production, right? So yes, it's not something like I've worked in production for 10 long years or something, but I'm just giving you a short insight so that you will understand what is it all about when you're talking about Rocket Chat, this and that.
Yeah.
All right, let's go here. Like, I'm just giving you a simple basic intro right now. So let's type in Rocket Chat. That's it. Simple as that. So Rocket Chat has its own channel. Rocket Chat has its own community that is getting built. But guess what? Rocket Chat has their own set of use cases that are coming up in the market. Like
Building
let's
your
say
business
something
online.
something as good as, I was actually seeing some talk from Hila Fish when the Wix came in. I just remembered that. So Hila Fish is one of those influential person in the Terraform. You can just go and type in Hila Fish. She's one of those, like, an influential person in the IAC platform, intent as a code, policy as a code, governance as a code. She talks about how you can literally use a simple set of code and actually communicating the right practices to your organization, right? Think of it in such way, like, contributions come, contributions go, but there's a lot of impact that can be happening. I think I should stop my share screen. So yeah, I think let's look at this. Tarun Marva, I think you should be knowing it. Do technical recruiter these days really hire or look into the GitHub profile based on how much contributions you have done made on open source community? I say no, because nobody looks at that in a very eminent fashion. But there are some companies which are very keen on open source guys. Like, they have an open
Yeah,
source
so
wing.
it depends on company to company. If that particular company hold focus on the open source thing, like AppWrite, you can say, or maybe this AppSmith, you can say. Like there are many companies whose focus whole open, they are working on the open source organization kind of thing. So for that, they will see. And again, I am saying it's not like that you have to be like the full green boxes in GitHub. They more focus on what kind of contribution that you did. It's again a part of software engineering. It's not like that. If suppose I am every day I am adding comma to doc file, or you can say .md file, and which makes it like a contribution. So again, it's not makes like a contribution. At the end of the day, you have to do software engineering, right? So have to do quality stuff on that thing. So they are more focused on that thing. So yeah, I must say, try to basically maintain that thing, I will just say. Yeah.
I think, got it. Thanks a lot. Yeah, that's it, man. I think there's a lot. There's a lot of impact that every little component in your SDLC, let's say an open source or an enterprise software that you're buying out, you're still pushing the code. It's still human in the loop. There is some sort of an issues that pop up, and there will be an engineer who will be resolving it, and that's how it is. I think best example, Log4j. Log4j really changed the way which we were thinking about market, right? We thought Java is more secure. There's no RCE issues, this and that. But at the end of the day, it changed the way in which we are thinking about technology. Even Apache struts can think something. I'll give you a simple example. Go to Snike 1DB. I'll just share my screen so that you guys can see what is it all about. Very simple logic that just getting talked here. So just go to Google, type Snike 1DB. That's it. That's it. You don't have to worry about it, because there are a lot of different packages which are coming up. Let's say I want to go on a pip package and I say in TensorFlow. Ta-da! You still have denial of service which is coming up from TensorFlow. And guess what? It's not from the CVEs that we are talking here. You're talking from the different sources of where this entire error was being brought up, right? You can just go fix these issues or anything. Like, there is auto remediation also there. A lot of things, you need not have to worry about it. Just go ahead, grab that opportunity, and you're literally good to go anywhere. But you should know what is happening in your SDLC. That's the whole point here. I learned a lot about how quality contribution works. That's awesome, my friend Ronit. I think Kartikey is like a better guy. Just reach out to him. So do you reach out to Kartikey on LinkedIn? So I have written that. So that's how it is. And I think, thank you so much, Kartikey. I think the contributions which you have done is pretty humongous. I still see some contributions of, I just generally cyberstalk people, right? I just type in Kartikey Rawat and it comes out, and I feel so proud about it. So thank you so much for contributing such great open source softwares for us.
No, no, like everyone is doing. Like I'm taking example from chat Ronit only. Like he's a contributor layer 5, and layer 5. I am following their Meshi project, and they are doing pretty much good on that thing. So yeah, kudos to you, Ronit, for like contributing to the project that making impact on a lot of people. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, sure. We'll connect over LinkedIn. That's
sure, sure,
awesome, my
sure.
friend. So this is Vishwas Narayan signing off from this live show. Do reach out to us if you have any queries, questions related to any of the things. So thank you so much, folks. Bye.